The Tacoma Recycle Center is alerting customers to temporary changes. Being neighborly helps Tacoma and surrounding communities get the lights on during power outages. And a young adult shelter is operating for the first time in more than 30 years in Tacoma. All that and more on this edition of Tacoma Report. Hello, I'm Lane Fickey, filling in for Anita Gallagher. If you have large quantities of household hazardous waste, styrofoam, motor oil, or more than 30 pounds of scrap metal, the Tacoma Recycle Center is encouraging customers to bring them for disposal by January 30th because the Recycle Center will be closed starting February 1st. Beginning on February 2nd, the Recycle Center will be temporarily moved to an adjacent parking lot while the Recycle Center's roof is replaced.
We'll have a temporary recycle facility set up that will be able to handle most of the basic recycling. We'll have signs directing them to that new location, and it's all at the same site. So we'll try and make it as straightforward and simple as possible for the traffic routing.
The temporary location is expected to operate through July and will limit the types of items the center can accept. Customers will still be able to recycle glass, plastics, cardboard, aluminum, and paper at the temporary center during normal business hours. However, other items such as motor oil, electronics, and styrofoam can be disposed of at the alternate locations listed on the screen. If you're heading to the annual Tacoma Home and Garden Show taking place at the Tacoma Dome, you'll be able to meet representatives from Tagro Tacoma Grow who will be on hand to talk with attendees about how to select soil amendments and products for your lawn and garden. For more information about the event, visit the website. If you aren't able to make it to the Home and Garden Show, the Enviro House has over 200 sustainable green living and building product displays and offers more than 45 workshops annually, like the February 13th workshop on how to pick the right fruit tree and care for it. The 90-minute lessons provide expert advice. You can register for Enviro House workshops by going to their website. When winter storms cause outages in the area, Tacoma Power crews work quickly to restore power. Yet sometimes crews need help, which is why Tacoma Power has a mutual aid agreement with Snohomish Public Utilities. In past years, crews from other utilities have provided assistance to Tacoma Power during such emergencies. It's a partnership that helps speed up recovery efforts. This year, Snohomish Public Utilities experienced major outages and requested 4 Tacoma Public Utility crews for assistance.
It's going to work both ways. So if we get hit hard, now that we've made these connections with SNOPLED, they'll be more than happy to ship some crews down to help us out and vice versa. So it's going to work out good for everybody.
The host utility pays for the use of the crews when these exchanges occur. Until now, the mutual aid responses have been informally arranged between neighboring utilities. Tacoma Power is in the process of formalizing written agreements with utilities outside the Puget Sound area.
Mainly, what we feel like we need to do is we may need to get some help from out of the Puget Sound area if this Cascadia subduction earthquake hits us like the experts say it's going to hit us. We'll need some resources to help us put our stuff back together from people that aren't affected.
Formal written contract agreements between utilities would also help speed up reimbursements of funds needed for recovery in the event of a federal emergency declaration. Up next, we'll find out how a new platform may make Tacoma's permitting process more efficient. In an effort to streamline the permitting process, the city is launching a new Tacoma permit system that uses a web-based permitting platform called Acela. Tacoma Report's Stacey Ellerford has more.
Permitting is a core mission of the City of Tacoma. Multiple departments deal with various permitting projects and need to have access to the same information. That's why a system where information can be easily shared and accessed is a must. To achieve this and other key goals, the city is launching Acela as part of the Tacoma permit system on Tuesday, January 19th.
The nice thing about this Acela system is it's got a great online capability, and so it'll be able to give real-time status of permits. And so if you're curious actually where my permit is in process, you can see real-time if someone's made an update that day, that week, or where it's at, who's holding it up, if it needs to be processed, or what's going on. And so it's a really way for us to be more of an open government, provide all details to the public, as well as give the customers, the applicants, more information.
Besides internal efficiencies, there are plenty of items slated to improve the customer experience.
With Acela, what's really cool about this is it can instantly route it to all departments. And so each group or each department has their own login, and they can look at their queue of work every day, and it updates automatically. And so if there's new permits in their queue, they can start reviewing it automatically. There's no routing time waiting for it to be transitioned between department to department. So that's a huge efficiency that we gain there.
Improved service delivery and access to online services 24 hours a day are just some of the system benefits.
So for example, if you go to tacomapermits.org, you can create an account and then a login. Through that, you can apply for a permit and upload your documents, you can pay fees, and you can check the status of your project.
Citizens will create an account that will save their information and will automatically populate the next time the system is used.
The system has a lot of helpful features. Some of the nicest thing is that when you log in, you can see the status instantly of all your permits. The other helpful thing is to see past history. And so if you had an old permit and wanted to check or look up a plan set or something that you might have had before online, you could download that again and then pay fees online.
Even when the new and exciting system is in place on January 19th, customers have the option to apply for a permit in person.
Customers will still be able to come in and apply like they are doing today. They can come in, they can ask to speak to some of our development specialists, some of our subject matter experts that can help answer questions. And then also, if they have the correct documentation, they can actually apply for permits there in person.
For Tacoma Report, I'm Stacy Ellifrit.
For more information about this new permitting platform as part of Tacoma Permits, visit their website. The city's Historic Preservation Office announced a new Heritage Project grant for 2016 to support projects that increase awareness and access to Tacoma's history. Eligible applicants include nonprofits, organized groups, and public educational institutions. Visit the project website and plan to attend a public informational session to learn more. The application deadline is February 29th. Councilmember Keith Blocker and Councilmember Connor McCarthy took their seats on the dais on January 5, 2016. Councilmember Blocker replaced Lauren Walker in District 3, and Councilmember McCarthy replaced David Bowe in an at-large seat. Both will serve on the City Council through December 31, 2019, along with District 1 Councilmember Andrew Zibson and Councilmember Ryan Mello, who serves in an at-large capacity. He's also the Deputy Mayor this year. The rest of the City Council, including Mayor Marilyn Strickland, are currently serving terms through December 31, 2017. More information, including biographical information for each member of the City Council, is available at cityoftacoma.org/council. After the break, we've got a reminder to help you prepare for tax day. Stay tuned. Earned Income Tax Credit Awareness Day is on January 29th. The Internal Revenue Service is using the Awareness Day to help reach potentially eligible taxpayers to make sure they get the credit. The IRS estimates 4 out of 5 eligible taxpayers claim and get the Earned Income Tax Credit. If you need tax assistance, you can find free tax preparation help by going to the IRS's website. Young adults in Tacoma who need assistance with shelter during the cold weather season now have a dedicated place to go. Community Youth Services Pierce County is operating the first young adult shelter in Tacoma in more than 30 years. Megan Snow has more in this story.
The city invested almost $235,000 to implement a cold weather season from December 1st through March 31st, which includes an allocation of up to $150,000 for a temporary cold weather young adult shelter that is currently operating at a city facility.
The response from the community has been so positive that people have said, what can I do to help? How can I volunteer? And I think it's also a great representation of how we are using public dollars to invest back into our community.
The Young Adult Cold Weather Shelter began operating on December 14th and provides shelters for individuals ages 18 to 24.
There hasn't been a young adult shelter for over 30 years here in Pierce County in Tacoma. Before tonight, we had to send them down to Olympia or up to Seattle. And we needed to provide a place here in their home for them.
While the temporary young adult shelter will close on March 31st, the city, Pierce County, and Community Youth Services are hoping to have a permanent site identified for a youth and young adult day drop-in center and young adult emergency overnight shelter to transition services to. The city and county are in the site selection process. For Tacoma Report, I'm Megan Snow.
The temporary cold weather young adult shelter operates daily from 6:30 p.m. to 7 a.m. For more information, contact Community Youth Services, Pierce County. Tacoma Public Utilities employees stepped up to do their part this past year to help Pierce County food banks, meal sites, and shelters fulfill a critical role in combating hunger in our community. Volunteers from TPU set a new record in helping the Emergency Food Network repack bulk food items for the food banks. TPU volunteers repacked more than 200,000 pounds of food items, which is more than any other group and is enough to create 175,000 meals. TPU employees plan to continue their monthly volunteer work at the Emergency Food Network through 2016. Coming up next, we find out about a program helping students learn an important skill. Reading is an essential element in childhood development, and when kids struggle, they can be left behind the rest of their classmates. In this next report, I found out how one organization in Tacoma is working hard to make sure that students gain confidence and ability with their reading skills. This reading program has been around the Tacoma area since 1988. It started out as the SMART program, then became the Worland Reading Program, and in 2011, the Tacoma Community House took it over and it became Read to Me.
Read to Me is a program where we match community volunteers with students in the first, second, and third grade who are struggling in reading. They meet once a week for about 45 minutes to work on reading skills. The students pick a book that they're able to read with a high accuracy rate because this is really where they learn the best. And then the tutors will read to the students a grade level book. Even though the student may be third grade, he may be reading at first grade level. He's still a third grader, and so he's able to understand what is being read to him. So we want to make sure we focus on comprehension. And they also work on sight words. Sight words are those words that they should be able to identify immediately, and that helps with fluency as well as comprehension.
For most children, learning to read takes place during first through third grade. By the time students hit the fourth grade, they're expected to be able to read, and at this point they are now considered to be reading to learn. Studies have shown that if children aren't reading at grade level by the fourth grade, those who are struggling will continue to fall further and further behind. That's why the Read to Me program is so important, and why the volunteers who help out are so vital.
Reading to me has always been exciting, and my kids are both great readers, but some kids aren't such great readers, and for that reason, we need to help them out. I think everybody who wants to volunteer likes to be rewarded, and reading with a kid is just the best possible thing, and anybody who even thinks about signing up for something like this, spread some other things aside. Make room for the kids, because that's where it is.
These students really thrive on that one-on-one, and we think that's really one of the main reasons for the success of the program is that one-on-one attention. The students are learning, but they're also receiving individual attention. The tutors get just as much back.
There are currently 4 schools in the Tacoma Public School District involved with the Read to Me program, and officials are hoping that number will increase in the near future. If you'd like to be a Read to Me volunteer or want to learn more about the organization, contact the Tacoma Community House. Residents interested in some sustainability education can watch the latest episode of Urban Green right here on TV Tacoma. Episode 11 highlights the Point Defiance Park Master Plan and takes a look at the newest additions to the city's solid waste fleet. Viewers will also learn some green tips on how lowering your thermostat can help save resources. And you'll enjoy an apple rose pastry baking lesson from Harvest Pierce County. For a listing of air dates or to watch an episode, visit the Urban Green website. Tacoma was recently selected as one of 27 cities to participate in the nation's most comprehensive initiative to help municipalities better utilize data to improve services, inform local decision-making, and engage residents. As part of What Works Cities, put on by Bloomberg Philanthropies, the City of Tacoma will work to expand its use of technology and data to help improve services to residents and measure goals set by the community. The What Works Cities initiative will also give the city an opportunity to develop and implement more effective policies related to service delivery. Well, that's all the time we have for on this edition of Tacoma Report. A great way to find out about the services the City of Tacoma has to offer is by going to cityoftacoma.org. Thanks for watching. I'm Lane Fickey.